Tom Lavecchia here with the latest edition of the Armchair NBA Special Horsemen edition. We are streaming on 3 channels as we speak. Please come in, wipe your feet on the rug. Let's have a good time. I'm Tom Lavecchia, host Armchair NBA. Let's do the rounds for those newer subscribers. We got to my right, your left, Vinnie, Brooklyn guy. Vinnie, how you doing?
How are you? Hey, guys.
Under me, we got Joey Bay 8th, a.k.a. Joey Snacks. What's popping?
A.k.a. Gay 8th, a.k.a. the Headless Horseman, a.k.a. the Capo, a.k.a. Beethoven.
Oh, Beethoven.
We also have our lovely sponsor tonight, JC Capital, Loans Without the Broken Bones. JC Capital, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well.
All right. So when I comment back, which I'm not going to do a lot of comments, it's going to go to all 3. So if I comment on one channel and it goes to the other 2 looks weird, that is why. And yeah, Joey nicknames, I like that. Gay 8th, we'll see. Like Vinny says, if they don't know about it, it's not gay. If nobody knows about it, it's not gay. That's it. As Vinny always says. All right.
Your joke, you can't even get it right.
That's right. All right. So
hey, Teresa, how you doing, Teresa?
Hey, everyone.
Hey, which one's Tom Hagen in this picture? Michael's the youngest.
He was adopted. Remember?
He was adopted when Sonny was a teenager.
They only had 3 kids. Fredo,
no,
Michael,
4. The daughter, Connie.
Connie was young.
Jason, you're in very big trouble, by the way. All right. So
he for 8 hours and he didn't know it right.
Unreal. And before he's like, I'm a big Godfather fan. All right. 4 guys, 4 horsemen, 4 topics, 40 minutes, right? So let's chop it up, guys. First up the bat, we'll start off with Vinny. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. What are your thoughts?
Originally, I didn't think anything of it. I was shocked when I saw it. Then I thought it was staged. But then I'm reading now the Academy Standards and Conduct, April 18th is having a meeting about it to sanction him. Now, they probably wouldn't know if it was staged because Rock and him probably wouldn't tell them because they probably wouldn't go for it. So, and then Chris Rock, the ratings are sagging in that show. Chris Rock is in concert, I think tonight. I don't know. I really don't know. If you had a gun to my head, I think it was staged. But I wouldn't bet on it though. I don't know.
Joe, what do you think?
I think that it was staged because what happened was when he smacked him and turned around, he had a smile on his face. Now, I don't know I don't know. Would you smile after doing that? I don't think so.
And also his wife was not laughing. He was laughing. You looked at her. She wasn't. Jason, JSB Capital. What say you, sir?
I think it was serious. Couple things here. One, in Scientology, what I saw in a video that somebody says if you don't defend or honor or defend somebody's honor, your wife's or whatever, if somebody makes you mad, you're supposed to slap them. I guess that's a thing. And if you don't, then you get slapped by one of the Scientologists. Don't know how true that is. Another thing, Will Smith, when he was like, keep your wife's name out my mouth. I think it was serious. I think it was uncalled for. You know, it was a joke. It was a movie joke. It wasn't, he didn't say anything like derogatory or anything bad. And I don't know if you guys know this, but what's going around the internet right now, Will Smith, 30 years ago on Arsenio Hall, made an Alopecia joke on one of the band members in Arsenio Hall's band, the Arsenio Hall show. He made an Alopecia joke. He had to wax his head every day. Look at that. A lot of people can give jokes, but they can't take them, huh?
What's that, Joe?
I'm sorry. This Steven Gennaro. I'm looking in the chat. He's putting Vinny's show up. What about my show, you schmuck? What about our show?
Gennaro called me every day when he wanted to talk. I haven't heard from him since 2018 now. Fuck. Yeah, that's right.
Steven texted me today. Am I allowed to talk to Vinny? So
Steven,
Joe,
you're on the shit list.
so wait, real quick. He's a Scientologist, Jason.
Yes.
I have, and I didn't know this, and little by little, I have a lot of friends that are Scientologists. I'm talking like 7 or 8, and I didn't even know. And I don't like I don't know much about it. I don't, I don't discuss religion too much anyway with people. But yeah, I have a few clients that are Scientologists as well.
Teach his own.
You know, Grant Cardone is a Scientologist, right?
Yeah.
That whole crew. Yeah, that is a crew of guys. All right.
Teach his own.
So I don't know. I think it's fake. I think it was kind of planned, set up. You know, like 1, he would have hit him harder if he would have hit him. 2, Chris Rock probably would have did something about it. And then number 3, I just think, you know, it's a money grab. Chris Rock's tickets went 3 times. You know, Will Smith, let's be honest, he's always on the front facing. He's always available in terms of the media. And he's been a little slow lately, even though even though he won an award. I don't know. I think it's fake.
Yeah, but he cried, like legitimately cried, and was apologizing.
Should they?
He's an actor, Steve. Jason, he's an actor. If you stage it, you can cry. Right.
But here's the thing: Hollywood's suffering. You know what's hurting Hollywood? Well, trust me, not our show, but YouTube itself. So other creators that are not part of SAG, AFTRA, you know, the movie crafts and so forth, and people are diverting their attention away from scripted media and going to this kind of stuff. It's putting a big dent in it. It's you know, hurting their pockets, and I think it was a little bit of a money grab.
If it was fake, why are these other Hollywood stars coming out and saying how disgusted they are and this is pathetic? Will Smith's pathetic. Oh, yada yada.
Because he's black. They're attacking him because he's black. Let's face it. If he was white, forget about it. They put up a statue for him.
Well, you're right. There might be some racial undertone. And
oh, come on. In Hollywood, are you crazy?
Well, and then on top of it, you know, again, it's kind of like, I think it was produced by an African-American. You had one, you know, black guy slap another. And, you know, there's obviously been a lot of progress in terms of blacks in cinema. And I think, you know, me personally, if I was a black guy, if I was in that community, I'd be pretty pissed because I think shit like that is what sets you back.
I think we should talk about him not being a cooperator. He was asked to file charges.
Nikki Blade, I want to say one thing though.
He wouldn't.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Shoot.
If someone went after your wife the way he did, what would you do, Tom?
I would have handled it, but I would not handle it in front of 8 million people. Because for that reason, they think I would try to do it for publicity. The idea is to really defend your wife's honor, not make it look like.
If right, you would have taken him outside, but not taken him outside. Met him outside, saw him at a party, pulled him aside, and said, "If you're a real tough guy, that's what you do."
Was it worthy of a slap?
It's like the guy in the bar who's yelling out, "Come get me!" in front of the bouncer. The guy don't want to fight because he knows the bouncer's going to hold you back. If you're really tough, you go outside.
Correct. That's what I would.
What about Vinnie? Was it worthy of a slap?
No. I think he should have grabbed them outside. I don't think he should have done it in there. But the thing is, when you lose it, Joe will tell you, I'll tell you, you guys get that. When you lose it, you're not thinking of, oh my God, there's 80,000 people. What, 80 million? You just go do your thing. And I think that's what makes me think. But he was laughing through the whole thing. They were both laughing, you know. Right. And then, you know, listen, Chris Rock obviously wouldn't have him arrested. You know, you're not doing that. He would have been cited more for that than Will Smith for the smack.
Okay, let's say this in terms of stand-up people. Chris Rock, he could have get some good Hollywood lawyer, humiliation, yada yada yada, and he could have shook him down for $200 million, probably settled for 10. He could have got an easy bag from this. What do you guys?
He
think
doesn't
about
need
that?
the money, Tom. He's worth a couple $100 million. What does he need? 20.
Well, he has a house in what is it, Alpine, New Jersey, and one of his shticks was like, I live in Alpine, New Jersey, and I'm the best comedian, you know, in my field. I think like Ewing lived there. He's the best player in his field, right?
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, no, and you know, and all the best in their field who are, you know, black people, right? And he goes, but the next person next to me is a dentist. He goes, he's not the best dentist. He's just a dentist. And he goes, it's good.
Did you hear what he said when he opened up his show? He said, "So how was your weekend?" That's what he said to the people.
I saw him test material. Jay, what's that club in Jersey and New Brunswick, whatever it was?
The
I
Blue
saw
Oyster Club.
That's it. My grinder was going off like crazy. He did some comedians who test comedy. He tested out there. It was excellent. All right, so we have more to talk about. We're at the 10-minute mark. Godfather.
Highlight, what up? Nikki Blade. You guys hear about this Tony Snowflow guy? I watched his show last night. He's a pretty funny guy, Tony Snowflow.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
He's got a good thing going.
He's very funny, and he gave me some unsolicited shout-outs. I'm going to Venmo him later, but he gave me some unsolicited shout-outs. He seems to be a supporter of kind of our crew. So I like him. I like Nikki Blade. Hopefully we'll all get to collaborate and shout out to those guys. So, Jason, what do you got, brother?
That's how Tom, when we go to the cigar shop, this is how Tom sits like he's the Don. This is how Tom sits all the time. It's embarrassing.
Well, he has more money than him.
Not than those guys. All right, Jason, what is that? The 50th anniversary?
Tom, you're such a historian, Tom. Okay, tough guy. What's the name of the guy standing behind Michael?
Neary.
Al Neary.
Richard Bright.
I don't know the actor, yeah. Well, Vinnie knows all the actors because he studied acting with Jesus.
No,
if he keeps this up, Jason, we're going to have to go down to the 3 Horsemen.
All right, so hold on. So a little show and tell time before we get into Godfather 50th anniversary. Vinnie, take it away. What do you got to show us?
Dust it off, Vinnie. You fucking dinosaur.
Oh, that you meant. I thought you meant. That's why I asked you about the wide-angle lens. This is from 1974 when I went. Joe, you like this? This is the original program. Back then, they gave you something in a movie theater, and it had the family tree. I don't know, I'm upside down here. The family tree, and they had some photos. I might actually have that. Oh, well, here's a photo like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think they charged you for the book. They had a little bio of each actor back then.
What year is that from? That's from the original 1970, 74.
Yeah.
Funny thing. Vinnie actually has the Declaration of Independence too in his library. So
I can show you
a lot of history going. That's how old.
Yeah, actually, Joe has it. He had it authenticated for me through Steiner. I'm still waiting for it back.
Yeah, I see, Vinnie, your fingers. I see your fingers healed, Vinnie. That's good.
No,
I was waiting for a lawyer to come calling.
Well, I asked Tom was slow. Tom was slow on the draw. He was supposed to get me one.
Did you hear what happened, Jason? He's in my we're in my house. I say, Vinnie, it's warm in here. Could you open the window? He goes to open the window. He hurts his finger, and he's got this big brace on it for the next 2 months.
I was sitting like this.
Those guys, Vinnie.
I was sitting like this. You're seeing me opposite. And I put my finger like this, and the latch is locked, and I'm trying to open it. And the next day, I couldn't use my finger.
The next day?
Yeah, really. That night, it didn't hurt. I would have complained to you, Joe, if it hurt. I would have asked you ice or something.
So Gazoo says
his social security number is 6.
My social security number has 2 digits. That's how old it is.
All right, Joe, a question for Joe, because this is his wheelhouse. Is there a big, I'm assuming there is there a big market for Godfather memorabilia, Joe?
I would think so, yeah.
You never dabbled in like movie stuff, that kind of stuff, right?
Actually, I have like I have the Rocky card set. Like in Rocky, the first Rocky, they made trading cards, like 132 cards. So I'm into it a little bit. I got the Terminator cards. I got Rocky 4 cards. A little bit. I'm, that's not really my forte, but I'm a Rocky fan. So
speaking of Rocky, this is random.
He's got Peter North cards.
Yeah, I'm Peter South is what they call me.
So when I did my book launch party in 2013, I paid for it. I had what's his name fly in, Mickey Ward, right? And what happened was there was a guy, Nicky, that worked with him as his rep, and he popped in, right? Didn't think nothing. I was kind of a little bit of a dick actually, but he showed up, right? Fast forward like 10 years later, I see him on Instagram. He's from Jersey, from Livingston, works with Stallone. He does all of Stallone's, like his online shop, that kind of stuff. Stallone gifted his motorcycle from the movie, and he put it right in his fucking living room. Insane.
Wow.
Yeah, and I might get him on the podcast. Well, not Stallone, but the guy on the podcast, because I want to hear the Stallone stories. All right.
Thanks for clearing up. You weren't getting Stallone on, Tom. You were confused.
Listen, you'd be surprised.
Oh, not Stallone. Okay, thanks for clearing that.
I might not be able to get Stallone, but you'll be surprised who I get on these days. I got a banger next week.
Tom, isn't it interesting how Joe and I wear the hat backwards, you wear the hat proper, and he won't mess up his hair?
Yeah.
No, because I'm a grown man.
He'll never put a hat on.
Because I'm a grown man.
I know why.
Everybody in the comments, drop a 1 if Jason should go back to a full mohawk, or number 2 if you like it as it is now.
It's shorter, right? It's just short, not as tight now.
Like he had an actual mohawk.
Or should Jason hit up his beard with Just for Men?
I used to, and then I got made fun of. I stopped. It was like night black.
Everybody so far has got a few 2s. They like what Jason's got cooking. All right. So, Francis talked about when Godfather came out, and Jason kind of gave you pushback on this. And to be real, I'm not just saying this, Vin, I'm not breaking your chops, but wise guys, right? I thought, especially the administration, captains, so always kind of dress nice in general, right? But according to Francis, they were kind of schlubby in general. When Godfather came out, that's when they really kind of suited up. They start dressing nicer, that kind of stuff. Did wise guys always kind of dress nice, or did Godfather put kind of an extra pep in their step and then step up their fashion game?
I don't know, because I was a kid then. But I will, contrary to what you think, I was 13 when The Godfather 2 came out. No, I think the big shots always dressed well.
Vinnie, when you were around them, I mean, how was it? There were sharp dresses.
Well, in the 80s, those sweatsuits were in. They were all wearing those sweatsuits. But no,
certain people still wear them today.
Yeah. But you know what the thing is? And they're not wearing Ralph Lauren. But you know what the thing is?
Wilson.
You didn't see a lot of the old timers, back then, guys like Gambino weren't at social clubs, Castellan, even Mr. Neal. When they had a meeting, he'd visit. He's not hanging out the whole day playing poker or whatever. So I think it changed. You know what it reminded me of? Remember in the old, well, you guys wouldn't remember, you're younger, but in the old days, people wore dresses. They wore suits on an airplane. They dressed up to go on an airplane. Yeah. Now they have like George Carlin hat and a fuck you t-shirt with sandals. They don't give a shit. They go on and they wear whatever they want. The world has changed. And I think a lot of wise guys, like if you watch Lefty, in that movie, Donnie Brasco, a lot of guys wore that stuff. Pants that were old. I think the old guys weren't into fashion. I think the newer guys and the guys that had the higher positions probably dressed better.
So, Vinnie, your generation, right? After Godfather comes out, do more guys want to go into the life because of the movie? You think it mattered or did it make a difference?
I think you would be disenchanted and think it was glamorous more than it really was. I think if Donnie Brasco or Goodfellas came out back in the early 70s, you might have had less gangsters around, right? If you see that show, it's kind of like, whoa, The Godfather, everybody was dressed in a suit. If you remember The Godfather 1, there was no crime.
No.
You didn't see anything.
I tell you, Vin, I think you're wrong. I was young when Goodfellas, I was really young. I was 10, but when I was able to see it, maybe like 12-ish, when I was able to see Goodfellas, I really wanted to be a gangster. really, like that was it.
Wanted to be like Henry Hill.
I wanted to be like Henry.
Really? I didn't get it.
When
what they do now?
Go ahead, Joe.
Back in the day when you were marked for death, they threw like a fish on your doorstep. You know what I mean? Now what they do is they throw one of those U.S. Polo assassination shirts on your front step. If you got that, you're marked.
You know what other movie did it for me? Gotti, the '96 version with Amar Asante.
I was like
August 18th. August 18th, Saturday night, HBO. Because my dad passed 3 hours after it was. I'll always remember when it came out. HBO, and they hawked that for months. That movie. August 18th was a Saturday night. That's when it came out.
Vinnie, when was the last of the social clubs, like broadly with the mob? Was that like Messina was the last to shoot him down? Like when were the wise guys stopped hanging out?
Messina stopped also. There was not one banana social club around when he took over. He got rid of them all.
Interesting.
They would hang out in cafes like cappuccino cafes, but there
Yeah.
were no social clubs with his guys. That was one of the rules with him.
Interesting.
No social clubs.
You know the Yakuza in Japan is the same thing as Cosa Nostra, but it's actually like public.
Really?
They have public offices and they assist in like social efforts. I always thought that was interesting. So like
Really?
there'll be like a local Yakuza office, and like it's open. It's like an actual like an office. It's open to the public, and not to the public, but they don't hide who in the Yakuza. I thought that was interesting. So all right, so did Godfather net? Did Godfather help or hurt the Italian American culture? Joe, what do you think? Italian American culture, not mob culture. What do you think?
Cookie.
Did it help it? No, I think actually it just enforced what they thought about Italian people already. Because, like, for example, how come in every Italian movie, what up, Maggio? How come in every Italian movie there's a guy beating up a woman in it?
Yeah.
Goodfellas, Raging Bull, The Godfather, everyone. So I think it just confirmed the stereotypes. You know, like they did as much as they could to try to get certain words out of it. Like they couldn't say mafia or whatever, you know, but I don't think it helped it or hurt it really. I mean, but one other thing I want to say is, I think the Godfather movies, I don't think there was anything original in there. I think they took it from the actual guys. So, yeah, guys were dressing like that for a while.
Yeah.
You know, a mobster, when you think of a mobster, they're dressed nice. You don't think of them walking around, you know, in especially the higher echelon guys. They're all dressed nice, you would think, you know.
See, that was the thing in like The Godfather 2. You
What's
didn't
up,
see
Marky
the low
Mark?
echelon guys. You saw all high echelon guys. Right? What guys did you see that were small? In The Godfather 2, nobody. They're all bosses you look
I
at.
would also think back then you'd have to be a sharper dresser 80 years ago. Like you couldn't, if you were a man of honor, like I'm wondering if they made you wear a suit almost. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't walk around in sweatpants or whatever. You know what I mean? They all had the top hats and everything, the fedora. So
Yeah.
I think dressing was always been a part of that culture.
Could be.
And you're right, though. Is also like you got access to the administration, and that's why it made it so interesting. Joe, I know it's like kind of Diker Heights now, and etc. But in Brooklyn, where did the soldiers live? Where did the bosses live? Like, did the bosses still live in Bensonhurst? Where did like the capos and like, again now Diker Heights has Mafia Row, you know. But back then in the 80s, did the bosses and capos still kind of live in Bensonhurst? Or was that always where the soldiers lived?
Yes. Certain ones, definitely. Yep, certain ones. But a lot of them were moving to Staten Island, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
all over. I mean, Diker Heights.
Is Howard
Nino
Beach still
Godzi
active?
lived on Bay 8.
Oh, sure. What,
So,
Joe?
yeah, he lived on Bay 8.
Is Howard Beach still the same like that too?
Well, Howard Beach had three sitting bosses at one point. You had a Musso, Messino, and Gotti all within blocks of each other. And then captains, I mean, I think you had like well-known ones, you know, probably north of 10.
I recently went to those houses, right? So I went to I had a friend from Howard Beach. So I was dropping him off at home. He says, "You want to check out the houses?" So we drove by Gotti's house. We drove by Vicar Musso's house.
Oh, wow.
And we drove by Joe Messino's house. We drove by a fourth house. Now, the fourth house we went by, you took the three houses I just told you and put them together. That's what Ronnie G's house looked like. It was amazing, his house. It was
I'm dropping a big
a
podcast
mansion.
next week, and it's about that area.
Unbelievable how the house was.
Yeah.
Ronnie G.
Ronnie G, yep. Yeah, his house is nice. Huge.
Is it fair to say he's probably the most underrated current mobster today? Because, like, let's be honest, right? Like, when you talk about current day names, you don't really hear about him.
He's active.
He's in jail right now. He had millions on the street. It's all public information, so I'm not saying anything That's not public. But he was a captain of the Bananas, had millions on the street. Had
You got life?
No, what do you get? 10
I would
years?
say no.
Yeah, I think 10 years. And
These Sicilians that are coming here, there's guys that are Sicilians that like really are big players and have a lot of money that people you wouldn't even know how to pronounce their name.
That's what
So,
I was going to say. How many Sicilians do you think bring a ton of cash?
A
Here?
lot of them live in
them.
Malta. If you go to like Malta, Whitestone near the water,
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Nice there.
I will not. That I won't do a piece on. But and when I used to talk to my ex-host, I used to ask them like, a lot of guys come from there. They're made from there. They got to check in. I would ask them like a million questions. But there are a lot of important Sicilian guys in that area that,
Which is all Gambino, right?
Gambino, but I think a lot of them are made from over there and do their own thing. And I don't know if they got to pay tribute. I doubt they check in. It's a different ball game, but there's a lot of very serious guys. I met some of them. Maybe they don't fuck around. There was even that movie, that show that was on Netflix that we did a piece on. The guy Pino, he took on the mob in like the small town where there's a lot of people that live in Whitestone, and they mentioned a guy's name. Let's say Francesco Rappa. He's not with anybody here, but he's a made guy with the Sicilian mob. So it's like there's a lot. That's just one guy. There's many guys.
Tom, put Rob Leto's comment up. 907.
I don't got. Oh, 907. Okay. No Sicilians.
Dunzio.
Yeah, you're right. Canada definitely. Canada definitely. I think Joe will appreciate this. I got a big, and I'm going to ask Frank Fiorelito to do another episode with me. But I got a tip on what the real deal behind George from Canada was, and the real reason why he got killed, and like some deeper info from the Canadian side. So I'm going to do like kind of a quick show on that. I think it's going to be interesting. But yeah, it was a little different than him just calling TG a crackhead. You know, it's a little bit more to it. Yeah.
That's over 100 sweatsuits.
So, all right. So, Godfather 50. It's played in a lot of movie theaters. I think it changed the Italian American culture, that kind of stuff. We'll get into a little bit of politics, which is I know Vinny's.
So to end this little. Well, for me, at the Jacob Burns Film Festival tomorrow night at 7:00, Pleasantville, New York, they're running the whole Godfather thing. It's a special at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
For those of you who may be near there.
I
I come prepared.
So, Vincenz,
Yeah.
why don't you start off because I know you voted for him. $6 gallon gas. Walk us through it.
Well, it went down a little here, but he just opened up barrels, right? He just released a shitload of oil.
Who?
Biden just signed the order.
Vinny's guy.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's really going to help. I would think it will, but no. Listen, it'll help short term. But you know what? This is as Camilla said. You asked for it. Remember that statement? Well, you got it, and no one was surprised. Everyone warned this would happen. Everything that's happened, everyone thought Everyone thought Donald Trump was nuts, and he called every single thing that's happened this year.
Yeah. Joe,
I don't think he's out, Rob. I think he's still in jail.
Listen, he didn't go
He's
into a
getting
good
out soon.
situation, Biden.
Yeah, Hector. I thought Hector was out, Joe. No.
Maybe. I thought he got 13 years or 11 years. He did kill the guy.
I do know. Oh, in the Lucchese botched heist, was that one or was that another one? That was the Lucchese guy.
No, they went to rob the guy. I guess he was a courier. He had money. They went to rob him. This junior shoots him in the leg or whatever. Then he flips on his two accomplices that were with him, but he pulled the trigger. But they got 40 years. He cooperated. How does the gunman cooperate against the two people that they weren't going there to kill him? They were going there to rob the guy. This schmuck shoots him, and they each get 40 years.
Wow.
So, yep.
That I never
Crazy.
understood. I guess it goes by whoever the government feels like who they want that week or whatever prosecutors in the AUSA seat at the time, you know?
Let me tell you something. Releasing 1 million gallons of oil a day. I'm going to tell you right now. You better believe that they weren't calling the oil cartel over in the Middle East. They sat down with Exxon and BP. They didn't just release a million barrels a day. This was a sit-down conversation.
Well, the reserves. They said the
last
reserves.
quarter, Exxon had its biggest earnings in history. Exxon.
I got a lot of Exxon stock.
Yeah, you're giving it back in the tank.
I saw that it was negative 37 a gallon. I don't like to do like ETFs and futures and all that. I said, let me just buy more Exxon stocks so we get a position, and it went up fourfold since last year. So, Jason, thank you very much. But now, $6 a gallon. All right, I was reading, right? I was reading that this year you're going to need another $5,000 net. So, if you're W-2, it's for like $8,000 depending on the tax bracket. But you're going to need $5,000 net in your pocket more this year just to keep up.
And guess how much? And guess how much salaries went up? Yo,
Yeah.
When guys like Vinnie's generation say it's all relative, bullshit. If you look at the wage in America and you look at inflation, here's the chart. Here's inflation. Here's wage. Here's wage. Bullshit.
We're losing money.
Ain't nothing. Everybody's like, when I was 23, I had a house. No shit, Sherlock. Your house cost you $90,000. You're making $50,000.
Yep.
Now houses are 10 times that. You want to live in a nice neighborhood? A decent one? So, Vinny, your generation can shove that up there. You know what?
Everything.
I paid for my own college. Yeah, your college cost you $4
Vinny's
grand.
responsible for everything.
College now is $50 grand a year.
A year, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I love when the old timers say how they did everything on their own. Yeah, it was nothing. It was Ugats compared to what you have to pay.
You know
now
what the average salary was in 1971? About $11,000 a year.
11,000. You know what a house cost? My mother-in-law bought a house for 40 grand in 1971.
35. A car was
grand.
3,800, 3,700 a car back then. Gas was 38 cents.
Bullshit.
But meanwhile, in the 80s, I knew an installer Verizon making $250 a year with overtime, $250,000 a year. The guys that climbed the poles, 91, 92. Can you imagine that? That's
but Vinny, you made $100,000 a year back in the 90s, more than that, whatever.
I worked a lot of hours.
You know what they consider a good salary nowadays? You know, good starting salary, $50,000. Vinny,
no,
you
more
doubled
than that.
30, 40 years ago.
But I worked 80 hours a week though when I was doing that.
Okay, whatever, man. A guy making 80 hours, doing 80 hours a week, working for the union, lucky to make $100 grand.
Well, I know in Staten Island it's going like $1,000 a square.
Forget about it. The houses in Staten Island are even worse than Jersey.
$1,000 a square foot. This piece of property would be $1,000 per square, right, Joe? Like give or take.
Yeah, I should. That's why I want to get out of there. Maybe
if you can get out of there and then move in a place where it didn't increase as much, you would make a lot in the arbitrage. Because Jersey, but by me, is ridiculous. My house, since I bought it, and it's only been 2 years, is up like 40% since I bought it. 40, and it's like
my friend who lives NB knows the area. We had talked about it. He moved down there 2 years ago, bought his house in Florida for about $270. He got offered $420 for it.
In what, less than a year?
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Well, you know, Como was the best real estate agent in Florida.
So yeah, true. So real quick, because I know we didn't get too much about politics, but the $6 a gallon, it's just representative of fucking meat. I don't know if you guys go shopping for your families.
Yeah,
I sometimes do. The meat is disgusting. It'd be like $50 for a piece of meat that used to be like $24. Chicken, everything's way up. You can even get it. You know, I can't go to my clients and be like,
my wife solved the problem with the grocery store going up. Now I have to take her out to eat every other night.
Hey, listen, I went to a diner. Me and my ex-friend Steven Gennaro. We went to a diner a few weeks ago when he was actually checking in and saying hello when he needed me. And a steak was about $43. We looked at the menu. We weren't getting it. I just said, I wonder what they had. $43 in a diner for a piece of steak. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
What's up, Danny? Tell him what happened when you went to the gas station and asked for $10 worth of gas, Vinny.
They sprayed it behind my fucking ear. And And that was right after I went for my colonoscopy, so you would think it was okay. I go for my colonoscopy. I walk in the goddamn office. The guy says, I said I had we went and bought polo sweatsuits, so I wanted to hang it up. It was getting baggy. I said, where do I hang these pants up? They're nice. He goes, over there with mine. Joe has it never gets old, Joe. The gas one's good, though.
Oh, my God.
I'm coming up with a few more. Don't worry. I'm going to break out a few more.
We got to flip it up a little.
I got to rewatch this. I missed the first half of that joke, and don't retell it because it'll ruin it. But I got to rewatch this because I like that joke. I'm going to use that. You mind if I use that, Vinny?
You can originate it.
So gotta kind of go to the lower quadrant because these guys are more sports guy than us.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's in. Bruce Arians is out. Is there any correlation to that, Joe? What do you think?
I think so. I don't know if because I heard I don't know if they got along. I mean, I don't know.
You got to think if a guy like Tom Brady comes back, you stay, right?
Yeah,
I would think so.
Like, what would be the point of leaving at that point? I mean, I would leave maybe if he left Brady, but I don't know.
How much did that screw up, Joe, the whole quarterback thing where people were going to sign? Did that really screw up, you think, the whole market with the quarterbacks?
I don't think so. How long was he retired for? A month?
Month, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that ball, right? I told the story before, I think with Tom. The ball, the last touchdown that Tom Brady threw, the last football touchdown that Tom Brady threw sold for like $600,000. Now it's worth nothing. Now it's just a fucking another football.
What about Mark McGuire's 78th home run ball and Sammy Sosa? They were like $1 million for those balls. Now what are they worth?
Yep.
I wanted to ask you guys a question.
You get the irony. Tom Brady came back. He's going to have another touchdown football, Joe.
You want to hear the most disgusting part of the Pittsburgh trip that I went on? Well, the most disgusting part was I left my iPad in the Pittsburgh airport. They found it, and I have to have it Federal Express here. Thank God they found it.
Yeah. Don't worry, Vinny. The federal agents will deliver it themselves.
No. I had to send the FedEx pre-slip and all.
It was a joke. The federal agents
got $100 to get it sent here. Can you imagine? So, but I saw near the stadium, Joe, Sandusky Way. How the hell did they still have a sign up Sandusky Way when Mark McGuire's sign came down for steroids? But Sandusky, they still have his sign up there. How is that possible? You tell me.
It must be another Sandusky.
That's what I asked my son. He said no.
Yeah.
I don't see them keeping up. Did they keep up the Paterno statues at Penn State?
I don't know.
I heard they took those down too.
I would think.
Well, Tom Brady's back. Are they going to win it? Are they going to win it this year? Tampa Bay, Jason, what do you think?
Well, I think Bruce was going to hang it up anyway, no matter of time. And he's 69. I saw a documentary on him, and his wife was there. He was being interviewed, whatever. And he had health issues. And he actually been telling his family for quite some time that last year, no more, we're done. And he actually thought once or twice before this about retiring, before Tampa Bay. This was before Arizona even, that he was going to retire, go into maybe broadcasting or consulting. So knowing that backstory of Bruce, I think that, he said, listen, I'm going to be 70. I don't know. He probably has grandkids now. He just wants to slow it down. And that's a tough living. You make a lot of money. But the ups and downs are just your blood pressure, the way you eat, the way you sleep. Forget about it.
Yeah, but Brady's it has to be his last year. You're managing or leading Brady's last year, though.
Well, that's what we thought last year.
He's going to play till he's 50.
What's your take? Do you think when he found out Arians was gonna hang it up, he probably knew a while ago. Do you think that a factor in him coming back, or had nothing to do with it?
I don't think so. I think he just looked at his stats and said, "You know what? I had a great year, and why not come back?
I'd like to see what the odds were when he retired on Tampa Bay winning the Super Bowl and how they changed when he came back.
If you somehow bought that, man, you keep those odds, right? The old odds.
Yeah, no. Once you get the ticket, it's those odds. But they had to be. Oh my God! Can you imagine that difference?
Yeah, shit. All right.
Had to be.
Well, we're at the 40-minute mark. We'll do a little round robin to close out. I want to do something different. I wanted to kind of get off different topics, not the usual nonsense. Kind of want to mix it up a little bit, chop it up a little bit like gentlemen. Joe, so how much do you regret being on YouTube?
I don't regret it.
I'm only messing.
I don't regret it. I mean,
tell it. Obviously, some people, probably most of the people, I think are coming from your channel. I'll be honest with you, but for people in Vinnie's and mine that don't know who you are, that are newer, we got some new faces here. Tell them about your show.
My show?
Yeah, the Bay 8th.
It's the Bay 8th show. Mainly right now, we do sports. I've been doing some videos, releasing sports videos and stuff like that. I want to get more into what I initially came on to do, which was sports and just hanging out with people, palling around, talking stuff. I mean, I kind of got away from that a little.
Yeah.
But it's something that I really want to start getting into now is, putting up videos. I want to do more of what I talked about initially. Review fights, current events, whatever the news of the day is.
Joe, have me on. When next show, have me on.
The next show is in 20 minutes.
Oh, come on, man. Okay. You know what I meant, Joe. Come on.
Tomorrow.
Thank you, VF. That's not the Sandusky statue. He lives in Pittsburgh. Thank you, VF.
So check out Joe Bay 8th, New York Connect. What I'll do is once it downloads, I'll put a link to his show. He's approaching 1,000 subs. Let's get him there. He's definitely over to 4,000 hours, so he can monetize. So we'll help Joe get there. Yeah, Joe, I've been good. I've been doing. I don't want to give my tactic. I'll tell you offline. But I've been doing some cool things to get a lot of subs. So I'm up like another 500 since I hit the 10,000.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
doling out some bread, huh?
No, not on that one. That's actually like legit.
He does he does the cam shows.
Yeah, my OnlyFans account is it's really Vinnie. Don't tell anybody. It's Vinnie. It's not gay if nobody knows.com.
Now, Jason, you are doing a live from Grinders, right?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing a live from Grinders.
I'm going to do.
When will that be? Well, tell everyone.
Well, Grinders is hosting a party down the street. And
I don't know.
Gracie Capital will be representing or sponsoring that party.
I think
we are going to do like the cold ice. You remember the cold water thing, the cold ice? Mm-hmm. We are going to be at Tom's house on a very chilly August night, and we are going to live. Me and Joe and Tom are going to mess up the Mohawks' hair.
Oh shit!
That will be a pay-per-view. Everyone.
Pay-per-view.
All I know is the first time I had you guys over. First of all, okay, listen, we're gonna wrap this up, but I don't know if you know what an upper decker is, right? But I had these guys over. We had a nice dinner. We had some drinks. We had some cigars. And my wife lets me know. She goes, "Hey, I flushed the toilet, and the water was brown." I'm like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Right? Pretty gross. I looked. Somebody's shit in at our actual top of our toilet. It's called an upper decker.
Yes.
There's 3 people that went to the bathroom: Vinnie, Joe, and Jason.
No, I didn't go to the bathroom. No.
Drop below. Who do you think dropped the upper decker? I think it's Vinnie. I think it was Vinnie.
Vinnie would break a hip if he tried getting up that high.
Yeah, you're right. I would.
I'm going with Jason.
Me too. I thought it was Jason originally.
All I know is somebody dropped an upper decker.
I thought Vinnie goes, I actually thought it was Jason.
Because I saw the door open
about me. I'm like, yeah, it could be Jason.
You knew him. You would be more comfortable. That was the first time I was ever at his house.
Latin Rome, says Joe. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't Joe. Amber says Joe too. Here's why it's not Joe. Joe would have went home, showered, and came back.
Exactly.
Oh,
See, he knows me.
Yeah, it could be actually.
All right, Tom, what do you say, buddy? We're at 45 minutes.
Oh, no, I'm going to wrap up in a second. I just got one more funny story. So we're doing our live, right? And the guys are not coming in yet. And I got, I opened up my Grindr account. All I know is when these guys walk in, I hear ping. I said, sweet. I said, thank God.
Hey, you like what you like. You like what you like. What can I tell you?
Yeah, you are who you are, Tom. Like you said, you're not gay if you don't tell anyone.
That's right. So, Vinnie, so check out Joe Bates. Vinnie, plug your show a little bit.
Well, originally it was going to be a mental health show, but who the hell am I to give? Who the hell am I?
Right.
Screaming every night. You can be calm with the medicine. Fuck you! You can't get it done. So I wanted to be a hybrid show with a little of everything, music and sports and stuff like that. Joey handles the sports. I'm going to do music more and movies because I enjoy that stuff. And I could talk about Al Jolson and stuff. I'm old enough. So I'm going to be doing that. And that's pretty much it.
Vinnie never needed a guest because he always had himself on.
Yeah, right. And then he wonders. He said, "You got to come over. You haven't been over for a while. Yeah, keep on waiting."
See, and then I you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna like super glue the top of the toilet down next time you guys come over.
I'll bring the crazy glue. You get the cigars.
That's right. So okay, so not a lot of people know this, and I'm supposed to be the marketing guy. Jason took over a New Theory podcast. He had a great show on Tuesday. We had this guy who started from a shipping clerk, who made all the way to a CEO. Ted, what was his last name? Ted, drawing a blank.
Bundy?
Clark. But that was on Tuesday. Jason's been having the New Theory podcast. Jason, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, New Theory podcast, really business oriented. We're going to get into more stuff about fixing your credit, buying a home if you haven't bought one, buying a business, what your options are, what you need down, what you don't need down, what they look at on your credit history, what they look at on your banking statements. So a lot of just self-development, sales, business-oriented. We're rolling in that direction. So, guys, come check us out, New Theory Podcast. And that's it, guys. And once again, anybody needs financing, real estate, business, come talk to me, guys. Thank you.
I love it. And then check out the Armchair MBA. We're on 3 different channels. I'll put the links below. Check it out. I hope it'll carry over to the other ones. I think it'll just go locally to me. Subscribe to all of our channels. We're going to try this every so often. We had a good show tonight. We had an upper deck free night, so that's always a win. And thank you guys for checking out the Armchair MBA and the 4 Horsemen. Ciao.
Salute. Done.